I really wish I had SFX for this, but Semi! Well, as you can see, we're touching on yet another vampire movie, but I wanted to kind of wait on it until I was somewhat happy with the formatting that I wanted to present things as on the channel. And now that I've done that, I'm really excited to see what's going to be on this movie, because I've specifically avoided all of the reactions from other channels that I really like to see reactions from. And I've specifically not watched any trailers. I've not watched or read anything about it other than the fact that it's really good, and the occasional like behind the scenes thing of like how they designed the vampires, because I think that's pretty much the only thing that I know about this movie, is that it's twin brothers with some sort of encounter with vampires. Let me know down in the comments what your part of the favorite movie is, and if there's any symbolism that you see that might be significant as usual. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like the video and subscribe so that you can see more content like this in the future, because we are definitely going to be watching a whole lot of stuff and breaking it down quite a bit. So with that being said, let me roll the disclaimer and we'll just go from there. Sounds like somebody's tuning a guitar or something. Oh. Ooh. So basically like a siren's call almost for the ultimate good and the ultimate bad, like the duality of things, I'm assuming. I don't know. We'll figure that out in the breakdown part, but that's the initial thought. He looks exhausted. It's interesting that they're singing Let It Shine, this little light of mine. The lantern is immediately giving hermit energy. I want to know what time frame that they're trying to use here to explain the story. That was cute. I think I was right about what times that they're using to explain this story here. Although the beginning with the flashes of the vampire with the preacher, that is really intriguing.
You boys twins? Nah, we cousins.
I love that they're using twins to help explain this story. It's like good cop, bad cop energy almost. I don't know what time in history this is supposed to be on.
I have no memory of this place.
It's like that guitar is cursed or something. What do you got against music?
One day it's gonna follow you home.
It's like trying to use fear to make him think that playing music is evil or something. One bite from that and you're dead. It's like that was a sign.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger!
It's like the angel and devil for some reason with the two twins. I like what they're doing with the archetypes of twins though. He's trying to teach her to see the value in her work. I feel like that horse was significant. I thought he was mad at him for some reason. Ooh, that's what you get for trying to steal.
It's no trouble.
Yeah, duh. Oh, dang, they work with the mafia. No wonder people are so scared of them. Ooh, there goes a kneecap.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took a bullet in the knee.
We're gonna need some patching up.
Well, at least he's, you know, helping him out.
Ice, even got a roulette.
Ooh, gambling. Interesting.
Keep a woman. You fine?
Ooh, did you see the three birds, the vultures? They're headed towards something. And the white flowers, symbol of white, is usually associated with like death or whatever.
I think it's safe to assume it isn't a zombie.
He's like, holy shit, kid. I didn't even know you were that good. Like, I'd imagine this is in 1870s or something.
The whole time?
This brother seems to be like the devil almost. The swagger and the charisma and all of that. Whereas the other one is super serious and is like by the book. But this guy right here that he's talking to is almost like the people outside of you that are telling you, you don't know anything. What do you mean? Like the haters that think that you can't or shouldn't do something that you love, you know. At least that's what I'm gathering from that specifically right now.
I even let you finish that bottle in your hand.
It made somebody real happy, I guess. Networking, a love interest. I didn't think that would be in here.
I'm married, by the way.
Oh,
Happily.
ooh, she's sassy. See, at the beginning of the movie, they were talking about how it attracts good and evil, right? He attracted the good first through that black lady that he was talking to that was married. And then the white lady came up. And I'm not saying like racist connotations. I'm just saying like these characters represent those things. And they've been really specific about certain scenes and how they're presented. That's what I'm saying. Apparently she's got some history with him. I can't imagine having seen all of my friends still suffering.
See, white folks say they like the blues just fine. They just don't like the people who make it.
That's true, unfortunately.
And the lynching right there in the railroad station.
Ugh, it's fucking awful.
She might even let you put your in her mouth.
Oh, she's the one that says do it?
Pop was here.
I was wondering what he wanted to do with the flowers.
I'll go through with y'all.
That's a good question. Yeah, what did you do? Was it illegal? She's asking. But we know because they've been working with the mafia, that's why. Is she like an apothecary?
No magic.
He's the logical side. He's the realistic side of the twins. And that's like life. We don't know the answers to everything. We just do what's comfortable for us at the time to get through it. It's logic and spirit working together.
And I miss you.
Oh, that was sweet of him to admit how he's feeling. It's interesting what they're doing with the music in that scene because it's going from these two different feelings to this free sounding music and it's beautiful. Oh shit. Who the fuck is this? I don't know if I trust this guy because he was smoking. Look at the vultures. That's what I'm talking about. It's like the death of the mind, body, and spirit almost, especially with the hood being shown. Wow. He at least tried to bless her and wish her luck. He probably already got eaten. I knew it. I knew it. I knew he would turn him. The eyes, though. Oh my god. Look at all of that special effects. Dang, it's barely gotten to any of the action. All of this world building, you know?
Let me holler at y'all right quick.
Yeah, he's like, let me talk to you real quick.
When they show up here, let them enjoy themselves.
Right.
Little Mary?
Oh, I guess they know each other.
Ain't that young either.
Apparently, he's talking to an older lady.
You got my $2?
What? He's strangling somebody for $2? What the heck?
You old enough to drink?
Oh, I guess it's been literal years. Maybe something happened as kids that made them not be friends anymore or something. Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
I want to be a few of them like this.
Yeah, you can't have everything be perfect.
You making any money with that thing?
I was gonna say, you better say not yet.
That'll be horseshit advice.
I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as you love it. As long as you're providing for yourself in some other way until it does take off.
My mama's daddy was half black.
Oh, he's mad she's here. He's trying to take care of her the way that she deserves.
I love you.
It's because he doesn't feel good enough for her. At least that's what it seems like. Hyping up the crowd for him. He's following his passion. It's a good song. Oh, see? Imprinted memory, ancestral memory or something. I don't understand what's going on, but I can see some of it. I like this mix of all the different kinds of music somehow syncing together. History. That's awesome. That's so cool. The past, the present, and the future. Reminds me of the saying of mind, body, and spirit that appear in threes. I loved that transition from that high note that he was like singing and then it went to the instrumental like soundtrack of the movie. It's so cool. And that's what they see because honestly, you see what you want to see. It's your perspective. See? That's what I'm talking about. He's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give you some time. Oh god.
2 months, and we out of first cash.
Oh shit, they're not making it enough.
Minder's coming in.
Oh, that's right. You have to invite it in. The vampires, you know. He's a good actor. Not just in the story, but the character itself is a good actor.
Robin Clean.
That's literally what they do, and they're telling him right there what they're gonna do. He's trying to use emotions to get in, trying to make him feel bad.
Is that nighttime?
I'm sorry. Now, how did they get in, though? Yeah, it's like this main character really wants a new life, something away from everything he's ever known. He's trying to tell him to make better decisions than to stick around and do what they do or be around that because it's dangerous. I think I just put 2 and 2 together. They're going to turn her and they're going to let her in because they know her, because she's family. Don't get me wrong, the music is beautiful, but I still don't trust these guys. This is almost showing like symbolically what happens when you just want to shut down after a tragic thing that you've experienced. See, he just said, I can still save you from yours. He's like salivating. Jesus. At least she had a gun on her. Ooh, don't turn your back on him.
But
Oh my god. That's terrifying. She's got a phenomenal voice. I friggin' knew it. See, she's different. Too different. I can tell.
I'm in danger.
He had a point. He should have just peed right next to the thing.
But you can't steal this for a night.
Ma'am, that was very straightforward, and that's something I don't think he would have said prior to being turned. I'm pretty sure. I was waiting for a jump scare. She's gonna turn him, isn't she? She knew instantly what was happening. Somebody was getting in some real bad trouble. Oh my god. Ah, gross. I'm sorry.
Oh, you nasty.
I have to take a piss 2 damn days ago.
2 damn days ago. Oh. Oh. Oh, God. That is terrifying. Ugh, he knows that he's gonna die and he's just trying to be there for him in his last moments.
She said we.
She's putting two and two together. She knows. It's the power of knowing the intention of somebody beyond just words. The ability to do that is what her archetype is.
You got any magic to bring my brother back?
It's not how it works, bro. God, did they turn everybody, though? He knows to gaslight that man because of his alcoholism. She's like, hang on. Why is he asking to be let in?
You big and strong enough to push past us?
She's not wrong. He was not mean like that before, right? What are we supposed to be doing? See, he's trying so hard to infiltrate. Oh, I knew it. Ah, get him back in the building, please. Get him back in there. Ugh, that's terrifying to see a giant vampire come at you like that. I would too, to be honest. I would poop myself. Ugh. He's already inside. It won't matter at that point. Don't put your face in there. He's gonna stab it again. Oh, the way his neck. Ugh. The special effects is way too good.
He's okay.
Oh, I hate it that they're putting their eye so close to that. Ooh, there he goes.
What's in the jar?
Holy water. Oh, pickled garlic.
They vampires.
Yep, I knew it. I don't know what a haint is, but it's very interesting. He's gone already.
Cursed to live here with all this hate.
Remembering kindness and how to love yourself and be kind to other people. The ego death. What does that have to contribute to anything?
You gotta get him out before he wakes up.
Was it her husband? Who was it this time?
They playing music.
See, I told you everybody got turned. Oh my God.
Ain't no one saying you gotta like it.
Would you rather die or do you want to eat a piece of garlic and live? Unless you're allergic to it or something.
You don't get none of the pickle ones?
Just eat it.
Turn down, smoke. She ain't no damn vampire. How the hell you know that?
She's not gonna eat it, is she? Oh shit. Did they get turned somehow?
Fine.
Was it beer? It was wine. Oh shit. Ah, he's gone. He's not fazed by that? Hello? I told you. Oh, he's completely numb. He doesn't care. It's like two truths fighting each other of someone who believes that emotions are good and that they're trying to work through them as best they can. And then another person who thinks that being numb is completely the answer and that is the only way that you're going to be happy.
I want to see my people again. I'm trapped here, but your gifts can bring them to me.
That's interesting that he said he wants to see his family again, but he just hasn't learned to learn empathy, to learn to love yourself and to love life.
I can see his memories.
Oh, they've got like a hive mind now.
And I'm talking to my big brother right now, Slim, so I'm going to kindly ask you to shut the fuck up.
It's like someone focusing on who he's trying to manipulate.
There is no me without you.
It's almost like him talking to his old self, even though they're technically twins, like trying to resist his old self.
Ain't you a soldier?
He's a soldier, but he's a soldier, but he hasn't had any experience with vampires.
Y'all hear that?
They singing something else? It's almost like not recognizing somebody that you used to know. Oh no, she's gonna tell him to come in. Somebody in there, let him in. Oh God. And this part is literally like spiritual warfare in the sense of two different ideologies of how the world should be run. At least that's what I'm picking up from it. And one is taking over the other because numbness is easier, but there's consequences for it. And the consequences of being numb emotionally and not listening to yourself is creating a worse world for everyone, including yourself. Ooh.
They feel his pain.
She knew that she was gonna die.
Promise me.
God, I'm fucking crying. He's been through so much. I hope this doesn't have a bad ending. Ooh, his fingers just have claws on the end. I bet that feels so sticky, though, on set to be covered in blood all the time. Oh, shh. Oh.
Still bring me comfort.
I had to pause for a second because it's interesting that, what is his name? Remick said that Christianity was forced on him. And that seems to be a recurring theme of forcing somebody's religion on somebody else and inherently changing how somebody functions, controlling what they think, controlling what they do, controlling what they drink. And I think that they're using vampires in this way to show what that visually looks like symbolically with a vampire. Oh, it's the garlic that he ate, I think, that prevents him from being bit. Oh shit, they all feel pain. I didn't even realize that. Oh, that's great special effects though. Oh, that's terrifying. Oh, nice. He got him. At least he got all of them. Damn. That could be symbolic of them realizing all of the stuff that they did. Talk about being vanquished. Oh, it's Dad's guitar. It's showing the duality of a dream that you have. I'd be shaken after having gone through something horrific like that. What is he gonna do? Is he going vampire hunting? Oh, he's gonna... Ew.
This wasn't necessary.
Wow. Oh, I remember somebody saying that they were gonna come and kill him.
He can be taught.
God, I'm loving this movie though, because showing this side of things after showing the vampires and stuff is trying to tell you what that looks like in everyday life, in addition to showing the fun side. Fantasy, oh, this isn't real, suspension of belief and all that. The amount of blood they used in this movie is crazy. It's like dropping the generational trauma, not letting it control your life anymore or following in somebody else's footsteps. It does have a sad ending, doesn't it? Oh, God, that is so beautiful. Who cares about your money? Shut the up. Money doesn't run the world, okay? Love does. True love. Not the fake kind of stuff that's not what it is. It's generational trauma that's teaching you what they survived so that you can do something better. See? Going for the life that you want because you love it and doing everything that you can to do it because somebody is looking up to you. That's actually a really, really good movie. It's so cool that we get to see him in the future. Oh, and then he named his band Perlines. I mean, props to Michael B. Jordan, though. He did a fantastic job at acting for two different characters. I legit thought that they came in here to kill him in the first reaction that didn't record. And I was really confused because with the way that they were acting, they didn't attack him.
Oh.
He made me promise to stay away from you.
Yeah, I was going to say he couldn't do it.
No pain.
That's a lie, though, because you do still feel pain. Like, even though he promised, he could have easily gone back on that. It's like he knows how to integrate that darkness now and live with it so it doesn't consume him completely. So he can kind of go in between states now, it seems. I could be wrong, but that's my perspective. I thought he was going to get bit there.
But before the sun went down, I think that was the best day of my life. Was it like that for you?
That's a good question.
No doubt about it.
All my life.
It's like shutting the door on the past, getting the closure that you needed. And just like this song, the lyrics just now, there's never a wrong time to start loving yourself and being authentic as you can be. Honestly, this movie was fantastic. I freaking loved it because of the special effects, the duality of things that they were trying to talk about, the symbolism of masks and archetypes that was used was just beautiful. Plus, the symbolism of the animals, it all ties together really, really nicely. And I don't know if this was intentional, but it seems like a movie that was very intentional with things and how it was placed. So I'm excited to kind of go over what it means. For sure. Or what I think it means, rather. But props to Michael B. Jordan. Like I said, he did a fantastic job with two different characters. I probably would never be able to do that in a million years, but you never know. But anyway, I would probably rate this movie 5 out of 5. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown. So with this breakdown, I wanted to be extremely careful with how I say things in regards to the symbolism that it is touching on, since it is a very, sensitive subject right now and has been for a while, which is racism and other things that are layered on top of that, in my opinion, in regards to like emotional things and archetypes. So I just want to preface this with, I'm probably just going to do this part as a voiceover just so that I don't misconstrue anything or don't add any fluff that might get misinterpreted somehow. So just know that this is coming from the heart. I'm not trying to say any which way. I'm just putting my thoughts out there as to what this means for me. So with that being said, let's get started. First off, movies are an extension of the time that they were made. You can see that in Gothic literature or any other literature genres, really. You can see the issues that were happening at the time, like what culture might have been like, what the author themselves thought of the world, and all these other things. You can even look it up if you don't believe me. That's what I'm trying to do here, but in a symbolic way. Nothing is meant to be taken literally. Secondly, The ratios that the filmmakers used seems to symbolize the bigger picture versus the narrow one. So sort of like the individual perspective versus the collective one, like society versus your individual perspective. They're using it to show you what part of this is representing what viewpoint you should see this as or through, what lens you should be using. At least that's what I picked up on, but it could just be something different for you, which is totally fine. But the next part that I wanted to talk about is the beginning of the movie where we see Sammy coming to the church house, right? And he's covered in blood and he has his broken guitar and everything. And then you see the flashes of Remick and it's replacing the pastor, his father. And to me, it's a question being asked to the audience of who is authentic and who is not in your daily life. Who's right and who's wrong, and who's justifying their actions by hiding behind something else. That could be anything, like religion, false promises, using charisma for their own purposes, etc., whatever it is. The masks that we all put on in general in order to function in day-to-day life. It's two examples of performative emotion and authentic emotion. The symbolic overlap between religion and personal trauma. I think the filmmakers were trying to explore the idea of colonization and what that's done collectively to everyone, not just African Americans, including those who did the colonizing. And many people over the course of millennia have done it, but it doesn't mean that it should be normalized because we've seen over time what that means and what that does. It's something that removes culture and demands to be replaced with assimilation, but not because they are looking for, quote, fellowship and love, like Remick says, or, quote, loving each other, as Cornbread put it. It's to force people to do things one way because they don't understand something someone else is doing or does and hasn't really done the work on being okay with differences and how that's not something that is inherently wrong at all. It's a method of control being mirrored in the film. Now, the song that they use when he enters the chapel, though, is the Let It Shine song, and I'm not super familiar with where it's coming from, but I do know that it's a church or a religion song, and the song in the congregation, as they're singing it, is mirroring how people shine brightly when they do something they love, shining brightly no matter what people might think of them for doing so. I know it's a religious song, but in this context that I'm using it for, it can also mean what I'm saying, symbolically. Just like Sammy and how he refused to let his light dim. He shined so brightly that the spirits came to join him. But so did the vampires. Now, this part, I wanted to talk about the animal symbolism, starting with the rattlesnake. Now, rattlesnakes in spiritual contexts have many meanings, but the one that stood out to me was how it holds the idea of power and warning, risk and reward, especially with the behavior of snakes like this. They coil up and take a stand if they're scared. They warn you not to come closer because of their rattle, at least this particular snake. But it symbolizes knowing how to wield your power and to ensure that you are using it in alignment with your own values as a person, because you have the capability of peace and chaos, or heaven and hell, within the power of your own mind. You just have to regulate your emotions to make the right decision for yourself, and therefore that decision affects other people no matter what you choose. It's just that one is better than the other, not only for yourself, but other people as well that your choice will ripple out to. It's also obviously a symbol of death, but snakes in general are also symbols of rebirth with the shedding of skin. It just depends on your perspective. So, for example, in Christianity, they say that it's a symbol of temptation and evil, which they do talk about in the movie a little bit. But again, they are using Christianity as a symbol. It's not them saying, quote, Christianity bad, but it's the most common religion we have in America right now. And so they probably wanted to use that as a symbol that most people would grasp to get their message across the way that it was supposed to. The issue is that you can't cherry pick when it comes to the symbolism of things. You can't say that something is a symbol of death without showing it also has the same idea, but in the reverse, of rebirth through the shedding of skin, like I said. Otherwise, it's not a completely neutral take, and there's an ulterior motive behind it in the sense of how people use things in religion to manipulate others. At least that's how I see it. That's just my personal take because of what I've been through. And I will be upfront about that. But it shows up as Sammy pulls the stuff from the truck that was hiding it, or the contents of it. And it's foreshadowing, quote, the devil coming for him. But it also shows how he eventually tells the audience at the end that that was actually one of the best days of his life, despite how scary and dangerous it was that night. But only because he followed his heart, his love for music, and his love for his family over something someone said he should not do or believe. It pushed him towards being authentic unapologetically. The rattlesnake appears right before he chooses his real path. It marks the end of one life with the beginning of another, the rebirth of the identity forced onto him considering his nickname, Preacher Boy, and the new life he wants to live, away from the plantations and the religion that was forced onto him, chasing his dreams and passions in life and believing that what he wants is possible and what he wants to believe about himself. Now, the horse is interesting as well because it's a Mustang. Horses have symbolism as well, just like the snake, especially spiritually. What this particular horse represents is freedom. Just freedom as the main portion alone is potent information. So when it appears in the background before they get the sign for their juke joint commissioned, you can see that their freedom has been taken away from them or will be. It's foreshadowing. But the other symbol that this particular horse represents is resilience and the untamed spirit. The color specifically as well shows yellow, which is a color associated with wisdom, understanding, and the start of a new day or a life path. So up until that point, something changed to where his freedom, resilience, and understanding would be tested, and not in a religious sense at all. It's symbolic of those things we had and how they are going to be soon taken away. But the black stalks, the area of the legs on the Mustang representing a connection to the earth, the grounded nature of wisdom, the grounded nature of Smoke as a person. His realistic approach to life, a no-nonsense type of person that he is. He lets his emotions guide him, and he isn't afraid to say how he feels and change his decisions based on new information and experiences, such as when Annie senses that something is up with Cornbread. The filmmakers made sure to show that he was skeptical of her beliefs, since they both suffered the trauma of losing their child. But in that scene, it shows that he's open-minded enough to listen. Because of his mojo bag. You can see later in the film that he dies, but not before making a show of himself, so that he makes it a point that he was a person that was worthy of respect and that he couldn't be tamed. He couldn't be manipulated with false information. He could see through the chaos of the vampires and saved his cousin, Preacher Boy, from dying. It's his untamed spirit showing itself, the wisdom that he holds, and the freedom of how he could have ended up like his brother Stack. But he didn't give in to that coping mechanism, which we'll touch on here in just a moment. But this ties back to the horse symbolism because, for one, he stays untamed like the wild horse, even when surrounded by things and people that would have broken him. 2, he refuses to be manipulated by anything or anyone, whether that's religion, trauma, or fear. 3, he shows his power openly by making a grand show of his own courage rather than submitting to the power of others. And 4, he puts his own life on the line for his family, saving Preacher Boy, in the end, from being killed by Remick, realizing what's truly important in life. Now, the twin archetype is very, very interesting to me. Smoke and Stack are twins, right? But as I noted in the reaction, I thought it seems like one is an angel and one is a devil. Not literally, but the choices that can be made when facing trauma or pain is personified through them. One is a coping mechanism that avoids, and the other is one that is grounded and works through their emotions. But both of these can be true at the same time. Both of these connections that I'm making here. I noted in the reaction as well that it felt like these two characters were the same person, but being represented as twins in the story. And obviously the actor is the same person, it's one person. But if you remember the line where Stack says he was beaten the most often by his father as a kid, he says, "Me mostly, but he ain't mean it," is him avoiding the issue entirely. He's pushing it away with a fake smile and downplaying how bad it really was and changes the subject. He's that person that looks fine or happy, but really is not. He's the shell of a person if they were living for everyone else but themselves. Whereas Smoke was the one that saved Stack from their father. He saw the repercussions of what it meant to be so hurt that you can't heal, and you take it out on other people. Symbolically, of course. He's the side of someone who could take what happened and use it to protect other people, or that side of someone who chooses to try and move past pain. But not all pain is something that can be removed or moved past, such as his pain from losing a child. He lives with that pain every single day, but doesn't let it consume him. He's the person who wouldn't care about what other people think of him and lives not only for himself, but others too. Now, the consequences of either coping mechanism, choosing to ignore or push away or downplay your trauma or pain will only ripple outward. It's the same moving through it. It's just the outcomes are different. One will affect others in a negative way, and the other will affect others in a positive way. When Stack is trying to talk to Smoke and gets interrupted, and how the vampires tend to get angry when someone tries to interrupt what they are doing, aka someone trying to expose what they are really doing, it shows that some people will use that pain and try to manipulate others into thinking they are that way because of someone outside of themselves, placing blame on external circumstances or people. Whereas if you take a look at Smoke, he was able to use his pain as a catalyst for change. He used it and remembered what it felt like, but didn't let it consume him. He let himself feel through the emotions even when they were extreme. Not that you have to be strategic or strong or anything like that, but that you should work through emotions as they come and not push them away. Otherwise, it may explode and hurt the people around you later. So to put it simply, to round it all out here, is that Smoke is the protective instinct / the one who transforms pain into purpose. It allows for strength and resilience, just like that horse. It inspires others and leads to an authentic life, but it makes you a lightning rod for conflict, allows you to take on burdens that aren't yours to carry, and realizing that when you feel deeply, you hurt deeply too. And Stack is the avoidant instinct / the one who numbs, hides, or minimizes and detaches. It allows you to get through the moment, and it shields you from any emotional overwhelm, and it keeps you moving even though you're not really living it emotionally. The numbness that you feel is part of the coping mechanism he represents. You're not processing anything too deeply because it's painful. The cost of that is that the pain never goes away, and in fact sometimes gets worse and prevents you from moving forward in more ways than just emotional. It prevents you from having true relationships with other people and makes you vulnerable to manipulation because you aren't grounded in the truth of who you are and haven't processed it. It's even shown in how they deal with money. Smoke haggles, he knows his worth, and Stack just keeps, quote, stacking the amount. It's the symbolic equivalent of giving too much to people emotionally, bending over backwards to keep someone around. Same thing with emotions. Smoke negotiates as fair as possible, whereas Stack pushes buttons and uses what information he has against others. For example, Stack offers Delta Slim more alcohol than he can drink for him to come down to Club Juke, whereas Smoke tends to teach, like he taught that young girl how to haggle and giving her money for a job well done. Now, onto the vampire section of this breakdown. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the hive mind aspect of vampires, because it's not something that's usually a part of vampire cinema or literature as far as I know. I really liked this aspect of the movie because it's something symbolically we all experience. The fandoms that we're a part of, the cults that are real in life, friend groups orbiting around one dominant person, or an online echo chamber, for example. To start off, the symbolism behind them only feeling pain or pleasure is a symbolic approach to duality, the roller coaster of emotions that you feel when you are really unbalanced emotionally, the seemingly out of control feeling, or the feeling of being unable to work through things. It could even represent the subconscious mind and you're just not realizing what you're doing. It also could symbolize collective pain that is caused through choices made in the past, such as racism, which is a mechanism of storytelling here too, stemming from someone being unwilling to or unable to learn that being different in any way is inherently needed in order for us to truly thrive as human beings. Nothing ever survives if we're all the same, not even in nature. Anything that refuses to change dies out naturally, hence the existence of extinct animals, for example, or the lack thereof. The memories they share with each other is almost like trauma bonding between people that suffered from the same type of pain. It's like taking the knowledge is power saying to a completely new level, or a different one entirely. The power dynamic of Remick as the character representing that. He represents that old way of thinking that is still alive and well today. Outdated systems, beliefs, ideologies, and power structures that survive by feeding on others' fear and forcing conformity, which includes suppression of differences, punishing authenticity, forces assimilation, controls through fear, or claims authority without compassion. Because the film is set in America, it taps into the very real history here of cultural erasure, forced assimilation, colonial violence, and racism. But the point is bigger than America alone. These patterns have happened all over the world, across all types of cultures and time periods. The movie uses the US setting as a recognizable anchor, so viewers can immediately feel that collective wound. It's not about calling out one political side or the other. It's about revealing that ignorance, misinformation, and suppression of knowledge has always been used as tools of control. That's a global human pattern, not a partisan one. You can't grow and change if you don't learn. Now, the next part of this hive mind breakdown is that I think essentially Remick is trying to recreate that community he once had with his people before he became a vampire, but can't, because the way he goes through life is detrimental to himself and others symbolically with the vampire aspect of his character in the story. It mirrors pushing everyone you love away. When Remick performs and closes his eyes, it feels like he's feeding off the energy of the crowd emotionally. Annie said that music from the heart, or from a griot, I think she said, can stir spirits, but it can also attract something darker. So this moment represents how charisma can be turned into control, and how a group can start orbiting around someone's shadow instead of their light. It could also be him trying to feel the feeling of community, like I said before, but it doesn't feel the same. He's able to feel a little bit better because they are all connected to him through the hive mind aspect, but it's not quite the same. And at the end, when that influence is gone, Stack and Mary seem fine when they meet up with Sammy again. They're less frenzied, more human than vampire at that point, it seems like. Symbolically, it mirrors how echo chambers or unhealthy communities fall apart once the core controlling force disappears. So overall, what I'm trying to say is that energy works both ways. The music itself is the conduit they use to symbolically show you how anything can be used to connect or control. It's all in how it's intended to be used. Symbolically, you could replace the word music with creativity or human expression, and it would still have the same meaning. It's just that music is the mode of creativity they used to help tell the story itself. Now, this part I'm really excited to talk about because it's the past, present, and future dance scene where he's conjured all these spirits to come dance with them in Club Juke. The reactions you have to the pain you may have inherited affects the future, because if you don't deal with the pain in the present, it will affect others, like I said before. It's like a butterfly effect. One choice to lash out can ruin someone's entire day if it's bad enough, for example. The connection you feel to your ancestors when you learn about the past in your family or on a societal level helps you build up empathy or anger even when justified. You have a choice in every action that you take, every word you say, and every reaction you have. You have to learn from the past in order to truly move forward in a new direction. And when a lot of us do that at the same time, that's progress. It's symbolic of how everyone in life, the past, the present, and the future, experienced the same emotions you do or will. It's the human experience that is life. Life is full of surprises, some good and some bad. But we all have a role to play when it comes to learning and helping other people, using the tools we have available to us, such as skills like your job or your interests or your hobbies or your talents like art or writing or whatever. All can be used in a way that benefits all of us in addition to yourself. And connecting to that, everyone was dancing just in different ways, and how that has changed over time, and change is necessary and essential even for survival. And it was even touching on how music has changed over time because of the blues, because a lot of the other genres that have been created since then came from blues, as far as what I've been able to research. But this scene evokes the idea of inherited trauma or ideas as well, and what we choose to do about it moving forward. At least that's what I picked up from it. Now, this part is something that has been constantly playing. I've had it on repeat the entire time I've been editing this video. It's the Rocky Road to Dublin dance scene. The folk music of the Irish and African Americans of America have parallels for sure, but I don't know much historically about that, so I'm just gonna completely do just a small summary of what I've read about that time period, which is that they were both treated similarly, but eventually the Irish assimilated with the culture since they were also white and ended up being able to inherit the privilege that kind of came with that. And that's where the paths of the two peoples diverged. But that's not my forte, so I'll leave it to actual historians when it comes to that. But what I do want to show you is that the song itself, Rocky Road to Dublin, refers to the city of Dublin. But Dublin is a city in Ireland, if you didn't already know. Cities typically represent expansion if you compare it to the starting from square one in regard to nature being square one, which is what information or knowledge you start off with and how on the way to that city, aka expansion, life is that rough, rocky road. It could be symbolically talking about the road to expansion, whether that's information or knowledge, the act of moving from one place to another physically or mentally, or just spiritual expansion in general, or just how hard life is when you forget who you are at your core. You have to go on a personal journey to remember yourself. The lyrics specifically, like the thorn portion, reminds me of the use of thorns in like witchcraft or apothecary medicine to ward off evil or ward off, quote, ghosts and goblins, as is referenced in the song. At least that's what I picked up from it. Not only that, but it seems to talk about each element: fire, water, air, earth, and spirit. Hence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could be wrong, but it's an interesting coincidence. If you didn't know though, fire is passion, transformation, willpower, and inner power. Water is emotions, intuition, flow, cleansing, and healing. Air is mind, intellect, communication, and breath. Earth is stability, grounding, abundance, and the physical body. And spirit is the aether, or the quintessence, the divine, the universal consciousness, or the animating force that connects all things, aka energy, the foundation upon which the other 4 elements exist and interact. But the number 5 in numerology also means change or freedom, adventure, and balance. So essentially, Remick is seeking to balance himself and rejoin his ancestors, or at least see them again. He seeks that freedom and change along with adventure, but he can't because of how he's acting emotionally / symbolically speaking. The song has multiple lenses to view it from, especially through the lens the story is trying to show us. The song shows that the road of life is harsh and it requires all of us, but in a way that is beneficial for all of us, not just some of us, considering all the different layers of cultural instruments, such as the bass of like hip-hop and stuff like that, as well as the violin for the actual Irish part, and, you know, other things that were added in the background of the song. And lastly, for this section, I think Remick was a Feely, I don't know how to say it, in the past, which is why he has such unusual control over the other vampires. At least that's what I think. His power is the same, but almost like the power is like expanded onto the other vampires, similar to the power that Sammy has with his music, but in a negative way. Why else would they include him singing, or saying he only wants Sammy, or saying your gifts can bring them to me, when he's talking about his ancestors, like he knows how it works? Symbolically, this could be showing how someone with a certain kind of power or gift with words, music, or whatever can influence others on a deep emotional level. Remick seems to amplify his own powers and emotions, but in a darker way, not for healing, but for control, similar to what a cult leader might do. That's why he can control or affect the other vampires. It's a reminder that energy, creativity, or even trauma can ripple outward depending on how it's used. Now, Smoke and Stack being with their partners in the end is super, super sweet, I think. And it still goes into the archetypes of what I was talking about before, as far as the coping mechanisms. The symbolism of Smoke reuniting with Annie and their child shows the work that he's done to be okay with losing them both, including his brother. He's releasing his old self, and in this case, it's him dying literally in the story. At least that's how I see it. But with Stack and his relationship with Mary, it's symbolic of being with somebody that's not the best for you, but you stay with them anyway because they're all you know. If you remember what with the symbolism I was talking about earlier in the reaction with Mary being a quarter black, she passes as a white woman, but she endangers herself, Stack, and everyone inside the old sawmill if any other white person saw her in there within the story. So him staying with her is him still attaching himself to darkness. Not that she's dark, I'm just saying that history between them both, losing his brother, himself, and having suffered abuse by his father, is like that feeling of being so down in the depths, it's hard to get out of it on your own. Hence the similarity of never seeing the sun again. Vampire symbolism can definitely be a versatile archetype to work with for sure. But with all of this in mind, the main lesson that I took from this movie is that working through pain is a very difficult process, and sometimes it's generational, such as the guitar being from the twins' father rather than the artist that Sammy/Preacher Boy thought it was owned by before. It's about realizing that some pain is not yours to carry. Some pain is collective pain that we all feel on an emotional level. We might just not be able to articulate that. It's just that some refuse to see it and acknowledge the role they played in it, the erasure of cultures and replacing it with a way that is deemed the, quote, only way, and removing the freedoms of others is something that will only hurt yourself and the people around you. So it's better to live authentic. It's better to live an authentic life than to live under someone else's idea of, quote, perfect. You need to work through pain in order to truly live. The hate that people harbor in the movie symbolically represents those old ways of thinking, and the deaths of the vampires at night and the deaths of the KKK members in the morning after are just showing the symbolic similarities of both of them, what that looks like in day-to-day life. Like I said, it's an archetypal representation of hatred and control and what it causes in our lives if we don't heal from it and let it control us, our actions and our intentions. In any case, it's better to live authentically and surround yourself with people who love themselves in a healthy way, who can provide the same level of love to other people as they do to themselves, and provides a space for each other that can allow people to express how they are feeling, what they're going through, or what they've been through on an individual level or the collective level, aka society. Once we see how one person is hurting, the rest can lift them up and do the same for others until we are all able to rise up and be our best selves, so we don't perpetuate things that no longer serve us or the collective. So really, the movie Sinners is about the, quote, sin of not being yourself and putting in that work to better yourself, your life, and the people around you in whatever way you can, but never at the expense of your peace. Once you find yourself, there's no going back. Your old self dies, so the new one can show the way forward, and that it was there all along. It was just buried under expectations and hardship. So that was the breakdown. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, I wanted to give you a few honorable mentions because I did want to stick with mostly the themes rather than the details of what the movie was talking about. So here's some of the honorable mentions, starting with the vultures that you saw every once in a while. Usually they showed up when there was potential danger or death was imminent. Especially at the beginning, you can see the smokestack twins, and there's two vultures in the top left corner of the screen. And then when Hogwood comes in, there's a flying vulture in the top right corner. And then when they're all on the screen together, you see three vultures flying in the top left corner. And then the three vultures that were flying on top of the Hogwood's nephew's house and then landing there, it was signifying that their fates were sealed as the Choctaws left them. Plus, the rattlesnake is present throughout the entire movie, but only in sound after the rattlesnake is killed. A rattle-like sound was playing with the music whenever there was danger or potential for change, since change isn't always fun. It represents that shadow aspect of change itself, in all its forms, and it was symbolic in some instances, like when Smoke is holding Stack after he passes from blood loss and says, "Don't touch him." The sound of sparkles were used when Annie was doing her hoodoo work on Smoke's mojo bag. And then when Cornbread is asking to be let in, he says that Stack was his ride up to the Club Juke. So to me, that means in the story, Stack was always going to become a vampire, at least in his lifetime, showing the hurt caused by others becomes a generational curse. In that case, a literal curse, the curse of vampirism. There's probably more symbolism that I could probably go into with the Rocky Road to Dublin song, just because it's one of my favorites from the movie, but nobody has time for that, so we're just gonna move on. And lastly, the colors of the eyes of the vampires. They all mean something different, specific to each character, such as green for Mary because potentially she loves fiercely, blue/silver for Stack because he loves his brother, and it could also mean how he really felt in his life and what he's been through. White or yellow for Bo, and I'm not exactly sure why, because I'm not familiar with anything Chinese in regards to what those colors could mean, but it's a very interesting detail that they decided to include, because all of them could have had red eyes, let's be honest. So let me know what you think down in the comments, if there was anything that kind of struck home for you about what I've said, or if there's any other movies that you want me to break down. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. It would help so much. You don't even know. So yeah, keep your minds and your hearts open. Peace.